What's up, everyone? We've got a shock veto ceremony, a potential quitter, and lots of talk about the next vote to evict. We've got so much to talk about, so welcome to your live feed update. Right before we get started, folks, if you are new around here, make sure that you don't leave without hitting the subscribe button. If you hit the subscribe button, I got your back. I'm going to make sure that you know every single thing that is going on inside that house so you can be the coolest Big Brother expert amongst your friends and family. I'll talk about the vote, I'll talk about the strategies, I'll talk about the alliances, I'll talk about the breakup of alliances, and of course, the house split. So make sure you hit the subscribe button for that. And also, one more thing, hit the like button, that little thumbs up button down there. Takes less than a second just to click that little thing, and it really helps me out more than you even know, folks. So there's two things there. Subscribe, like, let's get to the update. We will waste no more time and go right into all of the veto stuff. Now, up until the veto ceremony, there was pressure on Lauren from both sides of the house. With her as the head of household, she was in charge of making the decision on who the replacement nominee would be should one of her nominees come down. And lo and behold, Keanu did win the power of veto. So he, of course, decided to use the power of veto on himself, meaning that Keanu is safe for another week. I'm sure a lot of you guys are happy about that. But yes, Keanu is safe for the week, and Lauren had to decide who she would place up. I talked yesterday, and I said confidently, I looked at you guys and I said, I am 99.5% sure it's going to be Ashley. There are some crazy days in Big Brother when we can turn around and say that other 0.5% happened. She didn't put Ashley on the block. Despite the pressure from her side of the house, it was actually the pressure from some of the girls on the other side of the house that got her to back down. Basically, in all the one-on-ones, we had Morgan go up and she sprinkled a bit of her mist and said, don't do that to Ashley. It wasn't like they didn't threaten her, but they made her feel like she probably wasn't going to be safe if she didn't do that. So Morgan sprinkled a bit of her mist and then she came downstairs. And then Rachel goes up and Rachel sprinkles some of her mist and she goes back downstairs. Then Mickey goes up and then sprinkles a bit of her mist. Like I said, folks, it's like Charlie's Angels. You know, those three are lethal together. And then Ashley, of course, pleaded her case. She didn't really have as much wiggle room because she was the person who Lauren had set all week out to say that she was going to be the replacement nominee. But they turned it around and managed to get Lauren to nominate Adrian for eviction. So now Adrian will be battling in the blockbuster alongside Kelly and Will at the end of the week. One of the big pulls that I believe Lauren was swayed into putting Adrian on the block was because Ashley, in her meeting, actually promised her safety until jury, and that of course is a lot. I feel like in these early days a lot of people are playing to make it to the jury stage rather than taking out big targets. So I guess in Lauren's mind, somebody promising, hey, I've got you to the jury, that's going to help out. Plus, I think the pressure from the girls really got to her. I have talked all week long about how Lauren is a very malleable player. She doesn't really, this is going to sound mean, but she doesn't really have a brain for herself in the game. She is playing what other people are telling her to do, and she doesn't want to step on people's toes. So therefore, she is kind of just going with the wind, going with the flow, and just seeing where the current takes her. So I'd been talking all week about how while one side of the house, the Vince side, I guess every side is Vince's, but you know, the Vince, Zach, Lauren, Kat side, Riley, those people definitely wanted her to do Ashley, but Lauren has shown that she is very malleable and can be manipulated as a player because she doesn't really think for herself. She does what other people want her to do. So it was only a matter of time before I felt like the other side had to get up and do something there, and it worked. They manipulated the hell out of her, and not that they're going to turn on Lauren for that matter, but they managed to get what they wanted rather than Ashley on the block. They managed to manipulate Lauren into doing what they wanted by putting Adrian up, somebody who is on that side of the house in Lauren's group. So of course, the aftermath of the veto ceremony was, let's say, icy. It was icy, it was awkward, it was tense, it was everything that a Big Brother fan would want, because Vince's side just completely felt blindsided. They were just like, okay, that wasn't supposed to happen, gulp gulp, oh my word. It felt like their backs were against the wall for the first time this season, and I love that when somebody's in power the entire time but then they start to have to shake a little bit. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. So immediately those apologies from Vince and Zach to Adrian saying, you know, we really didn't expect this, we oh my God, bro, we didn't expect this at all. But they're going to have to navigate that one now, and we're going to talk about that because they have started to already flip the vote to try and save Adrian. With Lauren having blindsided her side of the house, Vince and Zach were definitely feeling a little bit out the loop and, dare I say, a tad annoyed at Lauren. They were discussing how crazy this is that they were completely left out the loop, and then two members of the Bond are now sat on the block. So, of course, they have started the cogs turning, and I think they do want to target Will. Can they get enough momentum? I don't know. That's another thing, because also Ashley and Rachel were talking later in the day, and they've already clocked. Listen, this is the advantage of having a veteran in the game. Rachel already has figured out that they are trying to flip the vote onto Will. So if Rachel's got anything to do with it, she's not going to allow this to go through. Again, though, it's very similar to these past few weeks because of the BB blockbuster. It's made things way more unsure by the time that we get to Thursday, because I've found that the majority of vote talk gets solidified on the Wednesday of the new format with the BB blockbuster. Usually we would know by now who's gone. Simple as that, unless we had a crazy blindside flip, but whatever. Now, though, everything gets solidified on the Wednesday. But I feel like, I truly mean this, I think anybody could go this week. I'm going to go out on a limb, though. Again, even though they're trying to get Will out, I still feel like I don't think he will go. My take right now, we could put a pin in this. This could come and shoot me in the foot, but I think Kelly or Adrian will be leaving the house on Thursday night. Again, we're gonna have to check in on Friday morning with each other, folks. But that's my prediction there. I just don't think Will. I don't think you can rally enough votes against him because people like him so much. But of course, with Will being evicted isn't the only thing we've got to worry about, because there has been some talk about some quitting. Let's talk about that. Will is definitely considering walking out the door and self-evicting. I think he doesn't have as much drive in him as he let on in the pre-season interviews. And it's funny because I feel like in the pre-season interviews he almost kind of dunked on those older house guests who complain the entire time and don't really do much. Definitely he was talking about sweet Kenny K from last year. And he gets in and he's got a killer social game. People love Will. And then all of a sudden now all this on the block stuff is starting to get to him, I think. And he is genuinely thinking of quitting the game. I am never a fan of quitters. I really can't fathom it. You know, the 16, this year 17, but 16 house guests every single year. Think about the thousands of people that would apply and fight tooth and nail to stay the entire time to win that money for them and their family or their friends, whoever. Quitters, it just doesn't leave a good feeling for me. But here's the thing. With the house divide, Will hasn't really aligned himself with either side. Same with Keanu. So if Will gets plucked out the equation, then it's kind of just another person plucked from the middle. But still, I felt it was necessary to report on, even though he hasn't quit yet, it's definitely important to note so we're not blindsided out of nowhere if in the next few days he decides, I'm done. Of course, production will probably try and talk him down if he decides he wants to walk out the door, but it's really going to come down to maybe if he survives this week and then doesn't end up on the block next week, it might give him a little bit more fire to keep going, but he doesn't seem to have the longevity for this game, and it's very, very disappointing. Now, while he is genuinely considering quitting, Mickey and Rachel are very aware of this, and they took Will aside and they were talking to him. They're trying to talk him down off the ledge and say, come on, don't do this, man. Like, you got this, hyping him up. Those two are good on a personal level because, of course, there was heart in that, but also you've got to admit, those two are kind of spearheading the other side of the house, the girls' side with Jimmy, and saying to Will, hey, it's okay, it's fine, you know, everything's going to be okay, when he's in a moment of crisis. You would flock towards that side, wouldn't you? And I hope Will wakes up and realises Zach and Vince, they don't want anything to do with him. They literally find him expendable every single week. So I hope that Will realises this and kind of locks into the game and joins the girls and Jimmy and decides to really turn this into a two-side war of the house where they can fight the power on the other side. And I really hope that, again, like I've been talking about Adrian, how when he gets crushed, he doesn't really pull himself up. This moment, I hope for Will, he sides with Rachel and Mickey, goes over to that side and is ready to go to war for those people, because he has people who will go to war for him. House Guest of the Week award goes to Kelly. That's if she was the only house guest in the house. She has said that she would rather be evicted than see Adrian head out the door. I am quite frankly sick to death of all of this bullshit that Kelly is spewing in her game. Put me on the block, put me on the block, send me out the door, send me out the door. Oh my word. Give me strength, folks. I need strength. I need strong coffee. I need something stronger than... Is it happy hour yet? No, not yet. I'm counting the minutes. Because this girl is driving me insane. What is going on? What is the thought process in her head to be like, okay, yeah, put me on the block again, 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 put me on the block again. Get a grip. Now, while Will was still going through his quitting crisis in the evening, the three, I guess, older house guests who were kind of family people, you know, Mickey, Rachel and Will, kind of all came aside together and had a conversation out on the balcony in the backyard just about family and kids. It was very, very sweet, and of course it's everything you want to hear when you were kind of on the edge, when you're about to quit the game. Put things into perspective, remind you of your kids, remind who you're fighting for here. And while Will didn't seem completely like he had his head back in the game, he kind of... I think the conversation helped. I really do. I really think it helped. And he kind of made his way back into the group. Quiet, very quiet, but also he didn't quit. So that's something, right? But again, we should keep watching that for the next few days, because if he goes further off the edge and can't turn around, then he will probably end up quitting. But we'll see about that. The evening from there on was kind of just whisper from different pockets of the house. People starting to talk about the vote a bit more. But again, I'm telling you, if you tune into tomorrow's live feed update, there is going to be a hell of a lot more game talk, because there is always more on Tuesdays and Wednesdays as we get closer to the vote. But Keanu and Vince had a moment that I would like to discuss as well. They were in the bathroom, and the talk was a lot about Rachel, and Keanu always takes every chance he can to talk about Rachel. I was going to try and sugarcoat that, but I'm not going to. He takes every moment he can to talk crap about her. But this guy he doesn't have his finger on the pulse in the game. He was talking about how Rachel doesn't have good reads in the game, and then Vince kind of chuckled, but I get the feeling that chuckle wasn't at agreement. I think it was a chuckle at the fact this guy of all people is saying someone doesn't have good reads in the game. This is the thing. If Keanu knew what was good for him, he'd suck up being butthurt and actually start to work with the girls, because Vince and the gang want nothing to do with him. I still think the girl side don't want a lot to do with him, but they're more likely to take him in than that other side. So while he's talking crap, saying this person doesn't know how to read the game and this person doesn't know how to do this, he is always the kind of person to criticize somebody else before he even looks at himself. He's incredibly condescending, he's rude in the way he talks to people, and he's going to get a nasty wake-up call and set by being sent out the door very, very soon. His life in this game is based on how many veto wins he can get, because his social game is horrific. He doesn't really know how to speak to people on a one-to-one level that doesn't seem condescending. So again, him criticizing Rachel's game, he can do that all he wants. But here's the thing. If you're not going to realize yourself that your reads are crap, then don't be talking about other people's reads. Now, an important thing to bring up at one point in the day was that Kelly labelled the girls as bullies. I believe she was talking about Mickey, Rachel and Morgan when it came to this. I'll tell you folks, I don't think they are bullies. I really feel like that came out of left field. Not to invalidate Kelly by any means, but I feel like also, folks, if you've been watching the feeds, you will know that I don't really think they are bullies. I don't know what you guys think, but I just think Kelly is living on another planet. She's definitely not a girl's girl. she, to me, gives the impression that she would throw all the women under the bus if given the chance, just to get in with the guys. That's the kind of girl I think Kelly is. Nothing wrong with that, big brother. Nothing wrong at all. But to throw the word bully around, that's a strong word. Bully is a strong word to use, and I hardly see anybody picking on her. If anything, she's the one driving people up the wall with her constant delusions and her constant guilt tripping and all of the above. Tick all the boxes all the way down. I, again, don't want to invalidate Kelly by saying that, but I don't see any signs of bullying from those girls in that house. They are strong and powerful and confident, and maybe she misconstrues that as bullying because she is so la-di-da-di-da-di-da. I'm just going to bounce over here now and get some approvals from this guy, and then I'm going to go get some approval from that guy as well, and then I'm going to go over to this guy and then dunk on some more women so I can get in with the guys. That's kind of what I see, whereas Morgan, Mickey and Rachel are definitely more girls, and they actually want to see the girls succeed. That's the difference I see, and I don't really see any bullying. That is all of your live feed updates for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. Bit of a later upload today. There's a lot of moving pieces in that house right now. And like I said, these next couple of days, I'm predicting, if I'm a weatherman for Big Brother, I'm predicting not a storm. Things are going to be overcast, leading into a potential storm. That's what I'm going to say. So basically, take your umbrellas out, stay inside, and sit and watch the live feeds in the comfort of your own home. But I'm very, very excited to see what the next few days brings. Thank you so much to everybody who continues to support me. We got a few super thanks before we close things up, and I will tell everybody that we have a mail day segment tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. We got some new postcards to add to the postcard wall, so very, very excited about that. But first of all, on the super thanks, we've got Super Christian Meworld, of course, long-time supporter of the channel. We always know Super Christian Meworld in the comment section. Thank you, King. I appreciate you ever so much. And you say, "Sup, Tom, was just about to send the super thanks on your other video, but then you posted a new one, so here you go." Thank you. Cannot stand Ashley. She'd be like, "I'm a lawyer." Screams entitlement. She is so entitled. She is so freaking entitled, and it's crazy watching people defend her to the edge and saying stuff like she's not done anything wrong. And wrong's I guess that word can go in any kind of way, but to me, what I see is somebody who, again, is very rude to people, and she thinks she's above people because she is a lawyer. I did not like that. To me, the one that helped me make up my decision the other day was when she was talking about Morgan, saying, "You're an effing bartender and a model. Don't talk down to me." That is disgusting, in my opinion. Everybody out here, every single one of us watching the feeds right now, or watching me right now, or even me, we're all out here trying to do our best, and it doesn't matter what we do for a living. We're all trying to earn enough money to put food on the table and pay for a roof over our heads. And to think that somebody should treat you with more respect or higher regard and you think they're lower than you because they do a different job to you, hell no. That's the point where I made my mind up with Ashley. Incredibly entitled and very rude. So I agree with you there. By the way, Nintendo officially confirmed Mario and Princess Peach's relationship status last night after 40 years, and she friend-zoned him. That man has gone all over the galaxy for her. He has jumped in so many pipes I can't even imagine, and she friend-zoned him. Keep fighting the good fight, Mario, and maybe one day, maybe in retirement, Super Mario Retirement Home, coming 2047. Maybe that's when we finally get Mario and Peach. So good luck to Vinny and Lauren. Yeah, those two. Vinny's playing very well. He's at the top of the house right now, in my opinion. Starting to come down. The cracks are starting to show because people are getting onto the fact that he does have his hand in every single pocket of the house. So we'll see how long that lasts. But Lauren's been a big disappointment for me. Again, the game's not over. She can still surprise me. We've still got 2 months to go, so she might shock me. But this week, she definitely lost stock for me. Thank you so much, Super Christian Meworld. I appreciate you. Next up, we've got the wonderful, amazing Debbie Hunt. Thank you so much, Debbie. That's very generous. I appreciate you. And Debbie says, always look forward to your daily updates. Did you watch Big Brother Unlocked? What are your thoughts? I haven't been able to watch Big Brother Unlocked yet. I didn't catch it, but I've seen so many clips from it just from being on social media. I will say I think Taylor is a magnificent choice for a host. She is very effervescent in front of the camera. And Derek, on the other hand, I feel like I know what they're trying to go for, the good cop, bad cop thing. I feel like with this show, but Derek's a little bit too serious for me. I think with a host, they have a bit more personality. See, but even though, I know Julie Chen Moonves is serious, it's a character almost, the Chen bot, when it malfunctions and then you get a funny moment like we did last week with the lemon drop situation. But Derek, to me, I feel like he takes himself a little bit too seriously, but he's a masterful player of Big Brother, and I'll always be impressed by that. I also saw Nicole Franzel got a segment as well. Bobby Moynihan, of course, was there. I love Bobby Moynihan. He always gets 2 thumbs up from me. I'm a big Saturday Night Live fan. I love that. Never miss a show. And Bobby was... I've seen a couple of clips there. Love Bobby. But yeah, maybe I'll get around to watching it because it's bi-weekly as well. So it's not every single week. So maybe I can sit down and catch up on Big Brother Unlocked soon. But I think Taylor and Derek, very interesting hosting pair. But I think I'm going to have to watch the episode to make my full assumption on how they are as hosts. But just in that little segment with Julie at the last eviction, Taylor came across really well. Derek is a little bit too serious for me, but that's me. Thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate you. And then last but not least, we've got the wonderful David Cushmore. David Cushmore says, Tom, you should come to Minneapolis next year. In August next year, we are hosting SummerSlam at the US Bank Stadium. I did not know SummerSlam is in Minneapolis next year. That's awesome. The Naked Gun starts this Friday. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Me and Sam are definitely planning on getting tickets for a little Friday night movie date night. We're going to go see The Naked Gun. Leslie Nielsen was in the original one, and that man is hilarious. And we've got Liam Neeson, I forgot his name, from Taken. Love Taken. But Liam Neeson's hilarious. If anybody's seen him in any comedies, they'll know that. I feel like it's like the juxtaposition of the fact he usually does serious stuff like, I will find you, I will look for you, and I will kill you. And then all of a sudden he's doing something like The Naked Gun. That's half the charm. So yes, we will be going to see that very soon. Keanu should turn on against Rachel and put her up on the block only if he wins head of household. Adrian, plenty of gameplay of Big Brother. Start winning some competitions. Play hard. Ava, pick up some wins and get yourself a next week at a time. I'll be honest with you, I don't think Ava needs to. She's going by so well socially. Everyone loves her. I don't really necessarily think she needs to win anything until jury time. Kelly, watch your back. Yeah, that's the truth. Jimmy needs a second win. He needs a redemption win. That's what I'll say. He needs to course correct and show people that he can play and not just try and find the viral moment. If the house versus Rachel, that would be great to see too. I don't mind if Ashley goes next, and we will see what happens, Tom. You need some Starbucks coffee and some M&Ms. Yes, I certainly do, and I can do that because of you, David Cushmore. Thank you so much. I appreciate you always. Great insight into the game, and several points I certainly agree with, as I showed just then. But thank you so much, folks. I appreciate every single last one of you. Remember to stick around for tomorrow, where we'll be doing a new mail segment. We've got some new postcards for the wall, so very excited about that. They're coming. And yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying this season so far. Game Talk is about to be ramped up, so I better get back to watching the feeds. But thank you ever so much, folks. If you feel like buying me a coffee, then please consider leaving a super thanks in the comment section below. And if you want to leave a question with it, I will answer it in the next update. But folks, in the meantime, I hope that you're all staying safe, staying positive, and staying healthy out there. And remember to be kind to one another. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.